Well, welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. I was thinking about what Benjamin Franklin said about the importance of being healthy, wealthy, and wise. And our little Wisdom Wednesday segments are the wise part, I hope. So I hope you'll take something from this and kind of help you in your day today. So I was at a client's house recently and went through the whole design process with them. And as I was doing that, I thought, wow, this is kind of like a detective process. And it kind of made me think. And so I would like to go through this process with you and see what you think too. It's just was kind of a fun thing. And so taking you through the design process, I want to go through, I think I have 5 different detectives that we're going to talk about. So the first detective that I would like to talk about is Monk. If you've ever seen Monk, he goes through and it just kind of goes like this as he's going through the room, where the murder has taken place, and he is taking in everything about the room. He's almost memorizing everything. And I don't know about the fingers, but they kind of help. And so, as he's just going through, he's taking it in. What is the color, the feel, the personality of this room? And that's kind of what I did. I went through and as I talked to these people, they were wonderful, and they showed me not only the room that this window is going in, but all the rooms of their house. And what was wonderful is I really got the feel of this family just by doing that. I didn't use my fingers, but kind of in my mind I did. And so now we go to the next detective. So the next detective I would like to talk about, Sherlock Holmes. Okay, the king of all detectives. So he goes into a home, kind of does the same thing. He takes in everything too. He just had in his mind, it's like the room is in his mind. It's amazing to watch. So this is what I'm thinking next is what you do is after you've taken in all the room, Sherlock Holmes says to himself, why is this vase there? I say vase because in this house that I went in, they had the most beautiful red Chinese vases. They were gorgeous. And then I see that on the wall, there's a fabric of that's from Egypt with the most vibrant and brilliant colors. And then I see a pillow on the couch that has a piece of all of the colors that this family wants in the window. There's a painting on the wall that's an abstract, but it's bringing in all of these colors that they want in their window. So this is what you have to do. And Sherlock is saying, okay, where is that vase from? China. Maybe they want a little bit of that in their window. Where's this fabric from? Egypt. And so where is it from? What does it mean? And he's taking all that in, and I am taking all that in as I'm going through this family's home. And that's part of this detective process. So now detective number 3. So are you getting the feel for this? It's not just about the window, it's about the people who are going to be experiencing the window. So all of these things that we're finding out, they're clues. Clues to find the perfect window for this family. So detective number 3 is Miss Marple. So you come in and a good detective will always ask questions. Unless you're Sherlock and you know the answers already, I don't know. But most of the time you gotta ask some questions. So I can come in to the family and kind of ask them questions that are like, what feel do you want in this house? Are you wanting this stained glass to just pop with color? Or do you want it to calm down your room? Do you want it to have a spiritual flair? Or do you want to, there's so many things. How does you want this room to feel after I finish your stained glass window? And these questions are all important here. And then we have to ask, well, what about price? What about, maybe you want this window just to enhance the value of your home, because it will. So these questions are very important, and this is the time, and a good detective will always ask these important questions. For instance, what is the deadline for this window to be done? We have families who say, well, I'm going to have an open house on the end of September, or I'm having a wedding here, and so we've got to have a deadline. Says we want this window to be perfect, to be installed, and to be ready for when this family needs it. So now, detective number 4. Our next detective is House. I don't know if you've ever seen House, but he gets the hardest patients, the patients that nobody knows what to do. And so they bring them to him because he really investigates. He is a detective in the medical field. So we're being a detective in the artistic, creative field. So sometimes he will go in to a home and really dig down and really get the evidence. Well, that's what we have to do too. We have to get some real hard evidence. For instance, I want to take a picture of where this window is going to go. I want to know where the light is coming. Is it a north-facing window? Is it a south-facing window? How much light is going to be coming through? So I need to know measurements. Very important. I need to get the exact measurements. I know this because lately we've had to redo a window that didn't have the exact measurements, so we know how important that is. We want to know exactly where this window is going, and along with measurements, we want to get a template of the window. We want this to be exact. So these are hard evidence clues. And now on to one more detective. So our last detective is Nancy Drew. So Nancy Drew was a teenage detective, right? And so her sleuthing maybe was on a more personal level. Maybe she did it with her family and with her friends. And so what I get out of that is you really have to get to know your client. I think that's very important. Recently, I went to talk about a client, about her window. And at first, we just had the window, we had a design, and it was beautiful. She wanted flowers. And so we put a lot of flowers into her window. Well, then we got to talk. And you might have to have more than one discussion with your client. As a matter of fact, I know you will. And so the more that we talked, we found out what was most precious to her. What was most important to her, what was in her heart. And these things I wanted to bring out in her window. So the most important thing that was precious to her were her children. So the flowers in this window not only were just beautiful flowers, but each flower was significant to one of her children. The color, the style, the flower shape, everything. And the more she started thinking about that, wow, this window really got important to her. This window was going to be the highlight of every time she walked into that room. Not only her, but everyone who walked in, she was going to point out, this is a beautiful window, but look at the significance of each one of these flowers. This is going to be really important to her. That's what you can do when you're a detective and finding out about a window. That's what I do. But if it's your window, that's what you can do, is to find out what really is going to be meaningful in this window to you. Maybe your grandmother had a window in her home, and whenever you went into grandma's house, you felt comfortable, you felt loved, you felt cozy, and you want to bring that same kind of a feel into your home. And so maybe you want to replicate what the window grandma had in her home. Maybe you want nothing to do with any of that. Maybe you want a fresh start. And so your window is going to be completely different than anything maybe you've ever seen before. And so we want to talk about that. We want to design with your personality in mind. And when you're designing on your own, the pictures that you see, the pictures that you bring together, they're going to all come together. Show me all of those things. I want to see them. I want to know. I want to find out the nitty-gritty. I want those clues that I have to dig for. And that's how this window is going to be most precious to you and to your family. So these detective practices have helped me to be a better detective of how to help you to get the perfect window for your home. But not only that, but I think that they have helped a little bit in just life lessons, right? Maybe you can go back and re-watch this video and take notes, and it might help you into maybe how to design other parts of your home, how to choose your furniture and the colors for your walls. Maybe it might help you if you're deciding of what job to take or what mate to find. I mean, who knows what these investigative clues can help you to do. So what I would like for you to do is to help me to be a part of this investigative process. So be sure to contact me if you would like to have a consultation and we can talk about a window together. And we can talk about all of these things. You know, oh, I went like this. and we can build the window of your dreams. And so contact me, DM, website, follow us on Instagram, or on YouTube. Get a hold of us any way that you can, and let's have a talk about your window. So for now, go out and enjoy this beautiful Wednesday. And I hope that you have a wonderful, creative, and beautiful day. We'll see you next time.